On this edition of the show, we'll share 3 mobile apps that will make your granny or any other elderly person more productive. Our mobile app of the week rewards you for sharing your expertise with others. And we have a cool gift for you on our giveaway segment. This is Tech Trends, and I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.
As the year 2016 winds down, so also are marketers, some of whose shops at the biggest computer and allied products market in the West African sub-region, Computer Village, located in Ikeja, Lagos, are already under lock and key. However, one issue that has consistently remained on the lips of these marketers of phones, laptop computers and many other devices is the fluctuation in foreign exchange, which is gravely affecting business transactions.
Due to the high price, one thing in demand is higher the price, the lower the demand, and the lower the price, the higher the demand. So this dollar is our major problem. The sales is not the way it used to be. This December, I've never witnessed this type of December before. The sales is too low. Customer has no money. If they come, they will tell you they don't have money. They will price and go. They will not buy anything from you.
In the early months of this year, 2016, things have been moving well. But at the point when the Forex, the dollar started increasing, and the prices changes, and importation is not that really good enough again, because if you are buying a tin of $20,000 before, currently you cannot make it again buying such amount of money, So it's really affects our business and our sales.
President of the Computer and Allied Product Dealers Association of Nigeria says that if government invested more in developing local quality content, it would help reduce the dependence of businesses on importation of gadgets.
Now, rice production is almost coming to a reality in Nigeria. What we need now is to produce to quantity. ICT industry, things that we don't need to buy, things that will bring expertise in for expatriates in before now, before 2015, before 2016. We are now, studying hard to make sure we provide local and indigenous solutions to those ICT solutions. And I tell you, softwares and all that, we are doing them locally, we are developing softwares, and we are providing solutions. Things that we take abroad for solutions, we are improvising and we are providing solutions. That is to say that the money that is going to go for capital flight before are staying in the Nigerian economy. And I tell you, Computer Village, look at so many solutions that we provide here. People now bring things abroad because it's cheaper for you to repair your equipment here, your gadgets here, than take it abroad. So that is, over time, these things can generate economic development for us, improve our GDP, and ICT become an economic booster. That is the projection, and I tell you, Computer Village is a place to look out for.
The market has also proven to be one of the biggest employers of labor, as thousands of youth strive to make a living fixing phones and laptops. The wide range of business activities gives opportunities to computer engineers and technicians who specialize in repair of faulty computers and mobile phones to transact businesses with dealers of ICT accessory. A short-term injury inspired a redesign of the traditional wheelchair by an industrial designer who grew up in Kenya, where 1 in 200 persons living with disability live without access to any form of mobility. Jana Deeble is a fit and active student in the UK and had little cause to dwell on the plight of Letu, a Samburu tribesman disabled by polio he knew as a child, until a broken leg left him dependent on a wheelchair.
While I was growing up in Kenya, I met this disabled chap called Letu, and seeing him crawl around, it had a huge impact on me. But I didn't really begin to understand what it's like to live with disability until I was at university years later, and I broke my leg and I was confined to a wheelchair for 3 months. And I went from being this incredibly independent person to someone who needed my flatmates to put my socks on. You know, it was such a shock. And even in a city, you know, designed for wheelchair use with curb cutouts and ramps and lifts, it was infuriating. I got stuck the whole time and my wheelchair was just useless. And this led me to think, well, if I'm experiencing these problems here, how bad must it be for Letu?
The experience inspired the Safari Seat, an off-road hand-powered rethink of the wheelchair.
Safari Seat is a wheelchair designed for people in developing countries. And what makes it unique is firstly the fact that it's made from local materials and bike parts, which means that anyone will be able to fix it. Secondly, that it's incredibly good off-road. It has a mechanism which mimics car suspension, meaning that all wheels remain on the ground for maximum stability. And thirdly, that it's open source, which means that anyone in the world will be able to take the designs and build Safari Seats for their community.
He says his patent-pending design improves the biomechanical efficiency of wheelchairs using 2 levers for power and speed, and will help more than just its user.
Safari Seat benefits people by giving them independence through mobility. And this allows them to take care of their kids, to get jobs, to become active members of society. And, you know, really mobility is far more than movement. It is the key that unlocks access to a life beyond the confines of your own home.
The plan is to make Safari Seat's blueprints open source to make the biggest impact and help as many people as possible.
Open source means that the designs will be totally free, and we're doing this because we want Safari Seat to help as many people as possible. Our aim is that anyone in the world will be able to take the plans and build Safari Seats for people in their community, both helping people with disabilities and creating jobs for local people.
A Kickstarter campaign has raised more than $115,000 despite an original target of $38,300, with 70% of that money going on development and manufacturing of Safari Seats and the open source toolkit.
We're raising funds on Kickstarter to do 2 things. The first is to make as many Safari Seats as possible, and the second is to translate the blueprints into an easy-to-understand manual that will use diagrams to transcend language barriers, meaning that anyone will be able to build it, no matter where they live, no matter what language they speak.
The extra money means the team plans to train more workshops in Kenya and expand to Uganda and Tanzania, eventually taking the Safari Seat to war zones and the rest of the world.